There we go. Now we're live. Okay, cool. So, copy, paste. There's a Telegram message. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. There, that definitely got posted, right? It did it? Yes, it did. Okay, cool. So, hey guys, good morning. Hello, everyone. Of course, if you can hear me loud and clear, I'm assuming. Oh, perfect. You guys know me so well. Awesome. Thank you. So, yes, good morning. I fell asleep. I don't regret it, not one bit. But oh man, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge. Well, actually, I won't say Ethereum, but Doge, XRP, or Cardano, everything nuking. So, what's going on? So, there's a lot I want to cover in this market. Now, I did talk about this in the live stream, I think 2 days ago, and I'll talk about this again, is basically there's no reason to panic. Okay, number one, there's really no reason to panic. This was simple price action movements, right? Market ended up breaking down from our support right here at around the 95.6. I told you guys if I was going to be looking for a short opportunity, it would have been right there. We got a very nice short opportunity all the way down into 94,566 from the lows of the 4 hour. That's about $1,000 drop, so quite a bit of money to be made there. But you can see that the next area of support, so how do you know when Bitcoin's going to be done free falling, is of course you pay attention to the previous resistance. And you can see that 93,475 was a major resistance point, right? And again, for confirmations, you can see that the previous resistance turned into new support. So that was your confirmation of where exactly Bitcoin is going to go. Now, there's a few things I want to teach you here. Number one, of course, is yes, ideally what you wanted to do was, since we saw the fact that this wick low right here ended up losing, right? So again, price action movements, you saw a little bit of resistance here. So the market will always respect the previous resistance when you're dropping on support. But a major support level is usually the magnet. But what you don't want to do, of course, is have limit orders exactly on support. That's why I tell you guys to be very careful and try not to catch a falling knife, because you can see on Bitcoin, although we have now bounced on 93.4, you can see we dropped all the way down to 92.6. When you have a cascade event like this, you don't necessarily want to jump ahead and assume the fact that Bitcoin is going to immediately bounce on the support level. Even the fact that we saw a bounce on 92.5, it definitely could have gone a lot uglier, right? We could have dropped all the way down to 91, even at a worst case extreme down to 89, and then saw a bounce opportunity. And that's why I always tell you guys, don't try to catch a falling knife. Instead, what you want to do is simply wait for the candle close and then look for buying opportunities. Right now, the candlestick has not closed. Even though we've seen a bounce, you might be looking at this and saying, oh, okay, Bitcoin's going up, time to long. No, it's not how it works. You have to be patient with your entries. And of course, right now, again, I told you guys, if the market is trading below exponential moving averages, we are not in a long market anymore. The only time we were looking for long positions was as long as we use the exponential moving averages as support. But for Bitcoin specifically, I would not be looking for long positions as of right now. Brings me to my next point, is Ethereum. Now that Bitcoin is dropping, Bitcoin's dominance is dropping a little bit as well. What does this mean for altcoins in general? Well, you can see today, this morning on Ethereum, I want to teach you guys this because this is very important, so please pay attention. But you can see on Ethereum, we had the same drop with Bitcoin, right? So we dropped all the way down into 3,300. Then market came back up. I told you guys, the only time we are looking for long positions on Ethereum is if we break this little wick high here at 35.26. You can see from the previous Telegram message, the market got close to 35.18 and then it started its nuke formation. So that's why I tell you guys, if the market, of course, has not hit the wick high, has not broken the wick high, it is not a trading opportunity. I don't care if it's $5 off, $3 off, $7 off. It is not a trading opportunity. What happened next? Market came back up. We broke it. Then, of course, we hit the 35.40, which is the first area of the wicks. How did I know that 35.40 was going to be the main zone? We were going to end up seeing a scalp opportunity or profits and see a rejection. Well, it wasn't rocket science, nor was it a random guess. Look what happened to Ethereum last time in this previous price action. Ethereum came up, broke above 35.24, we saw the same wicks. Look at where the wicks ended up rejecting. Do you see that? It was at 35.41. If I were to go back here, we've had a few wicks, of course, at 35.63, maybe give or take 35.45. But if we look at the previous, like the current price action, oh wait, here's another example. So same thing. Oh wait, this is the example, my fault. But yeah, so you see where the market rejected, and that's why I tell you guys, that is where the opportunity lies, is when you are looking for scalping positions like this, that's how you know when to take your profits, is looking at the previous wick highs. A lot of you guys struggle with this, and the reason why is because you're blindly taking the trades and not understanding them. Those of you that understand them, you know how to trade these markets, and that's why I keep sitting there and explaining the same things every day on the live sessions until you understand it. The reason why we trade these wick breaks is because there's opportunity in them with market volatility, and given the opportunity in them, we have to be careful of previous wick highs. So I hope that makes sense. So the question on everyone's plate, I'm sure, is of course Doge. What is going on with Doge? Should we panic? Everyone sell? Okay, look, let's be real. Yesterday, I gave you the example of the bearish setup on Doge, and I told you that Doge right now is in more of a bearish setup than it is in a bullish setup, right? There was multiple reasons why we were not looking for long predictions on Doge, or not even predictions rather, but long opportunities on Doge. The reason for that was, of course, we played the initial break of 42 and the 44, right? We played that initial break, but then the market came down, retested as resistance, came down, retested as resistance, came down, and again, if it retests as resistance, this is now turning into a confirmation of a short setup down to 35 cents. What happens at 35 cents? Guys, the way you saw Bitcoin drop on its BART formation today is the same way you're going to see Doge have a collapse at 35 cents down to 29. And I'll give you a perfect example of how you can learn to effectively trade like this. Look at Doge right now blindly, okay? Everyone, look at it blindly. And the reason I'm saying blindly is just look at it. If I was a trader and I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, where exactly is the next point of interest? If I was paying attention to this, it would be at 35 cents. If assuming the 35 cent support level was lost, where is the next area Doge ended up seeing a breakout and retest of support? The next area would have been right here, guys, right at 29 cents. That is the next area of support. So if Doge ends up breaking 35, it would just simply see not a straight capitulation, right? I mean, again, who knows? It could, but if it ends up breaking 35, then we know the fact that that's a bearish setup. So how would I trade Doge? Would I start panic closing all of my positions here? Would I start using massive leverage here? No, right? Because again, unless we break below 35, that is your confirmation for Doge. And here's an example with Bitcoin, right? The same example I'm going to give you guys with Bitcoin as well. Yesterday I said, look, if Bitcoin, so this is where Doge currently is on Bitcoin structure. Okay, let me explain this to you. We are right here. On the 4-hour time frame, we are right there. And this is assuming 35 cents. Okay, everyone following along? So this would be a 35 cent support. So if Bitcoin ended up breaking support, and then you can see if it pretty much had a free fall to the previous resistance, how can I trade Doge like that? Well, here's Doge's setup. Same chart, same idea, right? Because again, everything follows each other sooner or later. And right now, Doge is seeing that free fall opportunity, but does that mean I'm shorting? No, right? Because again, Bitcoin had the confirmation of the break of 95.6. When we broke that support level this morning, then we shorted. Doge needs to break 35 cents. If 35 cents is lost, yes, unfortunately, things are going to get extremely bad for Doge, and we are going to see a massive correction to 29 cents. Does this mean it's the end of the world? It's all, oh my God, zero? No. Guys, this was the Trump candle here at 17 cents. 17 cents to 48 cents is a massive run up. This flush opportunity was much needed. This brings a very healthy correction to the market across the board. And this is exactly what I wanted to see because, again, I don't feel comfortable leading you guys into battle every time we enter a long position because I don't know when the flush is going to happen. Now that we've seen a flush, and again, it's not even that big. It's a little flush, but again, we've seen some sort of correction. It builds more confidence now the next time the market ends up pushing above the exponential moving averages for me to take these long positions. So I hope that makes sense to you guys, right? We don't want to just simply look for longs. And again, remember when I told you this a few days ago? And let's talk about this real quick. I said the market does opposite of what everyone thinks, right? And I said it would be funny if the market got close to 100,000, ended up rejecting that level and then breaking down. And you can see that as of right now, that's exactly what happened. There was too much euphoric people in this market, too many people expecting the greatest huge squeeze of 100,000 straight to 150, whatever. Then the market had a humbling experience. And again, that doesn't mean that 100K is off the table just yet, right? We could easily see is something like this and then break above and then a retest of 100. But the point of the conversation is we were scalping today, right? We didn't get caught out on the massive breakdown formation. Again, maybe some of you did that were trading on your own, but for the rest of you, most of you rather, should not have been caught out on any sort of trade setups today. Ethereum is in extreme price choppiness. You can see this happening right now. The wicks are going both ways from both directions. Longs and shorts are getting destroyed. There is a reason why I have not been sending a lot of Ethereum trades other than this morning because, again, this was a very simple trade setup. We missed the initial break on the V-shape. I was, again, Asia hours is when everything seems to be pumping. That's when I'm sleeping. So it is what it is, right? I'm not upset about it. And just really quick, I want to talk about one more thing. One more trade setup that I talked about yesterday, which I completely forgot to kind of touch base this morning, but it was on Link. For those of you that remember Link's trade of wick high break yesterday, I sent it and I said, look, pay attention to what Link does because, again, it's testing a major resistance. And we did, there it is. Okay, so look. So Link had a wick high break, right? So wick high is right there. 1839, we saw a breakout formation. And I told you guys this a lot of times is altcoins have these sort of setups across the board when Bitcoin is breaking out. This is something very easy to spot. We had the Link break, right? It ended up breaking. It squeezed all the way up into $19. A very simple trade. Just like for those of you that remember our IMX trade, right? $1.66. We saw the breakout of $1.66. A huge trade opportunity. All of these wick breaks end up doing the same thing. Mostly for altcoins right now. Because the market structure is, of course, Bitcoin dominance is dropping. Altcoins are starting to see their little rallies happen. These wick opportunities is exactly why I tell you guys to pay attention to the market. There are tons of them. There's so many of them that I completely miss them myself, right? And I don't notice things until someone says, hey, is this a confirmed wick break? Is this a confirmed wick break? And I say, oh, look at that, right? But there are certain times in the market with altcoins that have already seen massive parabolic runs. For example, H-bar has already seen a parabolic run. Now is the time for these kind of coins to correct. So again, it doesn't mean that your favorite coin, H-bar or Doge, are going to zero. It just means that these coins need to see some sort of correction. This is exactly like Doge's chart as well, right? So you start noticing these things. There are coins out there that have not broken any sort of major resistance yet that are starting to move. And then there are coins like Doge and H-bar that have already had their massive parabolic runs and now they're starting to correct. This is an emotionless game, guys. We are not emotional traders. I don't care how much you like Doge. I don't care. Oh my God, Elon listen. Someone messaged me this morning, and not even this morning. I think it was like a few hours ago, and they said, "Hey, Pingu, Elon just tweeted that Doge is inevitable, so I just took a 50x long and I'm underwater. What do I do?" Listen, natural selection, listen. Realistically, if Elon is the reason you're buying Doge, I have bad news for you. Because sooner or later, Elon is not going to matter in this market, right? He is not going to move Doge 30 cents by himself in an hour. It's not how it works. You need to understand that Elon is a source of news. Just like anything else. Everything is a source of news, right? It's all noise. If you're taking your trade positions based off noise, you are going to lose every single time. And I've proven people about this wrong all the time. I remember it was a few months ago, something about Doge and something about their test network. I don't know, something was coming out, some Doge network or Doge Foundation or something. And I was saying Doge is bearish. It was a few months ago, not recent months, but I think 6-7 months ago. And I was saying Doge is bearish, and people were like, oh, but the Doge Foundation is coming out. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what Doge Foundation is coming out. We're shorting this shit. And I remember the comments, they were hilarious. People were saying, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Everyone's saying bullish. Doge Foundation is not something small, shouldn't be ignored. And then the market, like, literally destroyed them. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's what happens. Just technical analysis. Like, I'm not someone that's going to sit here and be like, okay, guys, the stars are aligning. On this day, on this 4th, we're going to go long. I'm not that person. I don't give a shit. I'm the last person that's going to tell you, okay, guys, trade news, right? Sometimes there's news that's beneficial, of course. I'm not saying that news isn't important. But if you're trading based off news only, you're not going to learn anything for the long term. You're going to end up losing because, again, surprise, surprise, market does opposite of what everyone thinks. Just because Elon tweeted Doge is inevitable, and now you're looking at Doge and it looks like someone shot the dog itself, that doesn't mean anything, right? Elon's not going to do anything for this chart, guys. Unfortunately, it's not going to move until it wants to move. And when it's going to move is, of course, if we see a break above the exponential moving averages. If this gets ugly, if this switches down like this, then now you have this massive BART formation looking to play out. Oh, look at that. It looks like a zoomed out BART now, right? So that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys is zoom out, understand where you're sitting in the market. And again, if you are emotional about Doge dropping right now, then you are over-invested, my friend. You are over-invested in this coin. You should probably take some profits. It's not a bad idea to take profits from your spot positions. It really isn't. And right now, I explained this about Bitcoin too, and explained this in the last live stream, and it's, hey, if Bitcoin loses 95, we will most likely head down to 93. If we lose 93, we most likely head down to 89. That is not be saying, okay, Bitcoin going to 0. No, it just simply means the fact that, hey, there's certain levels that you have to pay attention to. And if those levels are lost, emotions aside, you need to be ready for the worst case scenario. This is now the worst case scenario, right? This is now the worst case scenario for Doge. Is at 35 cents. If it ends up breaking, the next area is 29 cents. So I hope that makes sense for everyone. That is how it's going to play out. Why? Because we have a massive BART formation looking to play. And this BART formation cannot be taken lightly. It cannot be taken lightly, just like on Bitcoin, it cannot be taken lightly. It's because of the fact that Doge had such a massive run up. And now I'm only focusing on 35 cents. But again, does that mean, okay, guys, everyone's short right here? No, right? Because the market can easily chop here and then break back above and then continue pushing forward. The only time you short is when something happens. It's when reality happens, what you see, something that breaks, and then you enter a short. There has to be reasons why we're shorting. It's not just because it looks like it's going to happen. We have to have reasons of why you want to enter a trade, right? That is my reasoning for Doge. Otherwise, right now, I'm paying heavy attention to Bitcoin. On the 4-hour structure now, what most likely is going to happen, there's two things that I've noticed as a trader for 7 years who's been doing this for, staring at charts all day long. There is something that happens when markets are extremely oversold, and this is extremely dangerous, so please don't use this exact formula, but this is something that I have learned, and it does work sometimes, and it works extremely well. But again, this is a dangerous formula, so again, I don't teach you guys a lot of the stuff that I know. I only teach you guys the stuff that I know I can consider as good technical analysis, but this is a different level of trading. I'll explain to you what happens. So what's going to happen right now is market is going to close probably most likely above, we can hope above 93.4. There are two things that happen after that. The next candlestick is generated. It basically moves upwards. Everyone enters long positions because they think, okay, this is now the pullback opportunity. Then this happens. Comes back down. Hits this wick exactly, and then it pushes back up. So that is basically hunting for early longs. And that's extremely dangerous if, of course, you want to trade like that. Because, again, if this wick breaks, then it continues falling, right? That's why I don't teach you guys this. But it can be used effectively in oversold market, extremely oversold market. I'm sure I can find an example of it happening sometime earlier. Actually, I can just show you an example right here. But here, let me see. I'm going to go show you an example of it being oversold and then the wicks playing out, because otherwise then you're not going to learn from it. But let me show you really quickly. Give me a second here. Here we go. So here's a perfect example of this. So you can see what the market did right here on this 4-hour structure, okay? So you can see that the market came down on this bearish candle, right? We were extremely oversold. And then the market, of course, entered the next, if I go to the hourly, I'm sure I'll show you, but It basically opened right here. So again, body of the candle opened right here, went back down, hit the same wick, and then it started pumping back towards the upside. So that's something you can consider adding to your technical analysis stuff. It's extremely dangerous, but of course, if it does work out, it works out extremely well. That's how you can get 4-hour entries extremely good. But again, it's not something I teach in detail because it's a certain level of skill. And what I mean by that is it basically means that you need to have experience in this market because experience is everything. There are certain times when the market, of course, is seeing a crash and everyone becomes super emotions, right? You can see mostly new folks that are new to the market. Emotions are a big thing in general, but as a psychological trader, though, you have to be very careful of your emotions. If you're someone that panics too fast on breaks of support or thinks like, oh my God, if it breaks, it's over for me. Like, okay, this isn't for you then, right? But the hardest part is you have to keep losing in order for you to get somewhere. Like, and what I mean by that is you genuinely have to keep losing in order for you to learn your lessons and then, of course, move on from those trade setups. That is the best way to learn. I can sit here and say the same things over and over to you. It's not going to be drilled into your head until you lose money on a certain setup and then you don't make that same mistake twice. I try my best to protect you guys, right? That's my job. My job here is to basically skip 3 years of pain for you from technical analysis and just give it to you very simple and try to make sure you understand it and then practice it. That way, you're not spending the next 3 years of your life like me going in circles trying to learn it and it's not working out and then you're learning, you're not working out. So that's my job. Your job is to execute. So when I say if a support level is broken, so here an example at 95.6, I gave the heads up around 95, right, give or take right around here, and I said, hey, look, if this ends up breaking support, then we short. It ended up breaking. The execution is on you right here, right? I'm not going to hold your hand and say, okay, everyone, short, short, short. I'm not doing that. It is your responsibility when I say break to enter the position. Once you enter the position, it is your responsibility to know where exactly the moveset can end. Because again, I can sit there and give you, okay, guys, here's a signal coming in. It's 95.6 short, long or short to 93. And then what happens is, if you were to do it like that, the issue is I can give you the target. I'm not wrong about my targets ever. The issue is this little price action in between here, right? It's this noise right here, because you can see market came down 94.4, then it went back up 96.4, then it went back down to 93.4. The reason I don't do that is because A, a lot of people are new, and B, the problem is if I do that, then people don't learn, right? People aren't going to learn just going to simply wait on signals and be like, okay, what happened here? How did this happen? Oh, I don't care. I made money. I'm chilling. That's why I don't do that. So it is your job to know when to take your profits. I will always give you the profits. It's not like I give you a trade setup and it's zero when you lose money. No, that's not my job. But it's your job to know when to take your profits and how much is enough. So I hope that makes sense, right? So that's why I do it like that. And again, I know I've been slacking lately on the videos, and I'm not talking about Doge. Like, this channel has turned into Doge. If you guys have noticed, it is literally only Doge being posted. Before, it used to be HBAR, Shiba, Solana. Like, I'd be posting 4 videos a day. Like, I don't do that anymore. And the reason why is because I realize that number one, of course, is most people would just prefer to see Doge, right? You can see from the stats, it's a given. Doge is everyone's favorite. Number 2 is I would much rather put them in Telegram. And then for the people that are in Telegram, they join Telegram if they want those trade setups. And if they're not, that's on them, right? They can go trade on their own, learn on their own. That's totally fine with me. But this way, it's not like everyone's being spoon-fed every single trade, because that's when I get overwhelmed and I'm sitting there making videos like 4 times a day and I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. I can't do this anymore. So that's why I'm just keeping it very simple now, right? I make Doge on YouTube. I make these live videos and I go over all the trade setups that you possibly want. And then after that, if you want the rest, it's free. It's free, right? So Telegram's free. Sorry. Telegram is free. It's not like, here we go. He's asking us to join his VIP group. It's free. So, right there, right? So I just posted it in Telegram in the chat. It is a free Telegram chat. It's just, you just have to join it. That's it. I don't charge for anything. It's all free. Let me see. Okay, cool. So I'm just reading the things. Okay, so yeah, for right now, I wouldn't be looking for any sort of long positions on altcoins. And again, I know some of the whales are gonna be like, oh, that. No, it's only because of Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin sees another flash crash, it's not worth our time to be entering long positions. That's the only scary thing. So I'll probably wait 32 minutes, see how Bitcoin plays out, and then enter a long position. Not on Bitcoin specifically, but of course on altcoins. I'm not looking at Bitcoin for longs anymore. I'm only looking at Bitcoins for shorts now because, again, we're now trading below the exponential moving averages. So if we're below the exponential moving averages, then we would only be looking for shorts. If we are above that range, then of course we would be looking for longs. And I see some of you guys in the chats asking for a specific technical analysis on charts. The thing is, I don't want to make a technical analysis on your favorite altcoin if Bitcoin is nuking. It doesn't make sense to me because, again, I could make a TA on Algo right now and then Bitcoin ends up flash crashing another $30,000 and then you went long because, you know, you're like, okay, it looks bullish to me, and it pulls the alts with it. It's just not worth it. Like, you're seeing this. Look at like, come on, man, look at this. Like, this is all red. Like, there's this is like stocks and Forex, but the rest of this is all red. Like, it's not worth your time to be looking for long positions right now until Bitcoin decides what it wants to do. There are certain coins, of course, that have those setups that are worth it. But right now, I mean, me personally, I'm not digging through these coins and saying, okay, this is it. This is where we're going. I'm not doing that. If Bitcoin's dropping, then we're dropping. Everything's dropping. We're just going to chill, right? The only thing really that I'm focusing on right now is, of course, Doge. Because it looks horrendous. And here's the dog dancing. I don't know why it does that. It just pisses me off every time I see that dog. But yeah, so that's... I hope that makes sense. Yeah. No, yeah, so I hope that makes sense. Yeah. All right, so let me see real quick. One last thing. Okay, here's Algo. I was trying to look for it. So, look at Algo, okay? Give me an example of Algo. Algo right now is in the same spot, if you notice, as every other altcoin. HBAR, Doge, they all had the same charts. Right now in Algo, the previous resistance was at 22 cents. The same idea is if we end up losing this wick right here, right around, let me move that a little bit, right there. Oh, I didn't even move it. All right, there you go. There's your wick. If you end up losing 25.5, you will be shorting Algo down to 22 cents. The previous resistance should be turning into new support. That is the logic of trade, right? But again, my point is, why risk it? Why risk it right now? Like, why risk it with altcoins? You are much better off just specifically waiting for Bitcoin and Ethereum, or rather Bitcoin and Doge, to figure things out, and then, of course, look for trade setups because they're a lot more clean. With Tier 2, Tier 3 coins, I'll go Tier 2, Tier 3, whatever you want to say, those kind of coin setups, it's much better for you to be entering those when you have all the altcoins ripping out. Like IMX that day on Saturday, IMX, Filecoin, all HBAR, all those trades we took on altcoins on Saturday is because all altcoins were moving together. It became very simple. So that's why I tell you guys not to do it, right? But the hardest part in this market, guys, is being patient. Like right now on Bitcoin, you can see that we're sitting at 93,475 and it's fighting for the support level. The issue is a lot of you are probably seeing this saying, okay, this looks like a long position, I'm in a long. What happens if the market ends up closing below and then it starts free falling again down to 91,000? Well, now you're wrecked, right? Now you're basically wrecked. So that's why I tell you guys, if you're looking for trade setups, wait for candle closes. Once the candle closes, then enter your trade setup, okay? Because it gives you the confirmation that the trade is, of course, above the support level. There's 29 minutes in the candle close. There's a lot that could happen in 29 minutes. So I hope that makes sense, right? So 29 minutes is a long time. So that's what I would be doing if I were you guys. It's simply waiting on my hands, letting the market come to me. And of course, I will make a Doge video in detail later tonight to kind of explain what the setup is. I don't want to keep talking about Doge because, again, I make the video on Doge. So it's like, what's the point, right? But, yeah, so I hope that makes sense. Anyways, I apologize. I apologize because I've been slacking heavily on giveaways. I will go out and go buy you guys some gift cards again because I know. Okay, so So for those of you that are new to the channel or first time coming in, everything I do is for free. But what I do is I'll do giveaways, right? So I'll go out I'll go buy some gift cards, so MasterCards, and then I'll do like a trivia session, and you just have to answer. First one to answer wins. And I give them like 25 bucks worth, and they can buy food with it or whatever they want. I've been slacking on it though because I've just been so busy. I will get that sorted this weekend coming up. I'll buy you guys some gift cards, and then of course we'll run those trivia questions back. The only thing I'm scared about is there's 2,000 people now, right? And my DMs are probably gonna be blown up from them. So I'll have to think of an alternative way we can do it, or you just do them on YouTube only. It's a lot easier and more fun as well. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys that update too. I forgot. It's been a while, and I know Christmas is coming up, and I know some of you guys could use it. So yeah, I will definitely look into that for you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. 30-minute mark. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I just want to give you guys a market update. So thanks for coming. And again, if you guys, that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks for coming. Of course, shout out to Blowfin. Of course, as always, it's a great exchange. The link is in the bio. If of course you guys are interested in leverage trading, you can join it and then join us. Everything else, that's it. That's all I got, guys. Yeah, pretty chill live session. I woke up and it was like, I thought Bitcoin was at like 50,000. The way the people were messaging me, like, bingo, I lost everything. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, man, what happened? And I look at it, I'm like, okay, come on. It's like down like $2,000, man. Come on. It's not even that bad. But yeah, so. All right. Everyone good with that? Everyone good? Yep. Cool. So again, here's my Telegram for those of you that are new. It is free. Thank you guys so much for coming. I will see you guys for a live session later. Live session. I will see you for a Doge session later tonight. I appreciate you guys taking 30 minutes out of your days to listen to me talk about everything and random stuff too. And I will see you guys later. Again, candle close, and then we trade. Otherwise, you're chilling. Peace out.